27 civilians killed in Kharkiv in last 24 hours, head of police. 170, including 5 children killed in the city since the start of Russian invasion. The White House, imposing a limited no-fly zone over Ukraine to protect civilians is an escalatory step. Aerial strike on military unit in Borispol district, there are casualties, police. Aerial strike targeted dormitory at Karbutovka district of Zhytomyr, Mayor. Russian troops captured northern part of Izium town, all bridges over Siversky Donets blown up. Polish MFA, the authorities of Poland are ready to deploy immediately and free of charge, all their MiG-29 jets to the Ramstein air base and place them at the disposal of the USA. At the same Poland requests US to provide us with used aircraft with corresponding operational capabilities. Guterres, developing countries cannot afford the skyrocketing prices of food, fuel and other commodities. Boris Johnson told this to journalists after hosting B4 prime ministers for talks on #Ukraine-Russia war. Victor has made it very clear that he represents a common position on sanctions policy, thereby contributing to Putin's downfall. Kharkiv governor, all Russian attempts to storm the city have been repelled. First fighters of Russian PMCs, e.g. Wagner killed in Ukraine, Ukrainian army. New imagery from Baranovichy Air Base reveals the arrival of another A-50, A-100 AWACS to the air base, in addition to those we revealed on March 6, and 2 Mi-26 helicopters. Venezia 2018. Red alert, aerial threat. Sirens sounding. Take cover now. U.S. has tracked 3 to 4 Russia cyber attack in Ukraine, per at CYBERCOM_Dernza. In terms of why they haven't done more, that's some of the work that the Ukrainians have done, the challenges that the Russians have encountered, it has not been what we would have anticipated. Parts of missile crashed in Trebakiv. McDonald's says it is temporarily closing 850 restaurants in Russia in response to Ukraine invasion. Russian military convoy in Melitopol. Ukrainian state arms manufacturer Ukroboronprom said on Tuesday it would pay $1 million to anyone who captured a combat-ready Russian military aircraft, an offer it said was open to Russian pilots wanting to switch sides. U.S. having iterative discussions with Ukraine about military capabilities to fend off Russian attacks, senior U.S. defense official. British Prime Minister, Britain and others will pay to provide Ukraine with military and other aid. Ukrainian president before British Parliament, Russian losses exceeded 10,000 soldiers. Ukrainian president to British Parliament, Russia targets hospitals and nuclear facilities. Nearly 670 missile launches by Russia into Ukraine to date since war began, 70 from Belarus, 6 or so coming from Black Sea, most fired from Russia or inside Ukraine. #Ukraine-Russian war per senior defense official. Kyiv has about 10 days to 2 weeks of supplies yet, as Russia tries to choke off Ukraine capital, said DIA's barrier. With supplies being cut off, it will become somewhat desperate, General Barrier said. Latest at Planet imagery shows the flooding of the land north of Kyiv stopped the advance of Russian troops last week. Senior defense official says at SecDef Austin has spoken with defense minister from Slovakia, as well as the United Kingdom today, and he's on the phone right now with the defense minister of France. Foreign Minister Baerbock currently believes that Putin cannot be stopped. Baerbock at BILD, "We must do everything to stop this war. This president is apparently unstoppable at the moment because he is crossing all human boundaries." British Labour Minister announces gradual ban on gas and oil imports from Russia. The most significant package of sanctions in history is causing damage to the economy of Russia, according to POTUS, who adds, 1 ruble is now worth less than 1 American penny. U.S. will share in the responsibility for caring for the refugees fleeing Ukraine, says POTUS. Many of our European allies and partners may not be in a position to join us, notes POTUS. We can take this step when others cannot. We're banning all imports of Russian gas, oil and energy, announces POTUS. The Kharkiv tram depot was shelled. Putin has commented privately and publicly over the years that he doesn't believe Ukraine's a real country. He's dead wrong about that per CIA's Burns. Real countries fight back, and that's what the Ukrainians have done. Russia's plan in Ukraine called for seizing Kyiv within the first 2 days, per CIA's Burns. After nearly 2 weeks they still have not been able to fully encircle the city. Putin spoke with Israeli Prime Minister Bennett, Kremlin says. The call comes after Zelensky spoke to Bennett earlier today. Ukrainian Prime Minister, we have received foreign aid worth $3.5 billion to support our armed forces. Damage in Polohi, Zaporizhia Oblast.
Я сказала, шевелись тебе. Идешь как марионетка, блядь.
Там шпионом куча, ебать.
Ну, короче, как что сказал. Если не сдадутся, то эти сотрут с лица земли.
The second evacuation column left Sumy. Russian equipment destroyed in Bravarsky district of Kyiv region.
Куда Куда попало? Вот так близко, прям от дорога, через дорогу вот туда, рядышком лес.
Projectile hit school stadium in Ryhorivka village of Vasilkiv district in Dnepropetrovsk region. Russian military in Snihorivka of Mykolaiv region. Izium, Kharkiv region. This hospital with modern equipment was saving the lives of Ukrainians, but it was bombed by Russian troops.
Умови. Тут сучасне обладнання, кисневі станції, ось томограф. Ось бачите, але на думку росіян тут, мабуть, також була чергова натівська база. Ось дивіться, це найсучасніше приймальне відділення, яке було збудовано буквально півроку тому. Буквально півроку. Ось подивіться. Просто подивіться. Мабуть, тут була якась мілітаристська база.
The United Nations has banned its staff from using the words war or invasion to refer to the situation in Ukraine, the Irish Times has learned. In Kharkiv Oblast, in Feldman Eco Park, 2 people were killed under mortar and machine gun fire. They were coming there to feed the animals. Additional supply of ATGM Javelin and NLAW arrived in Ukraine. NATO Secretary-General, Ukraine is experiencing horrific suffering as a result of the Russian war. Big rally today in Ola Pristan, Kherson region against Russian occupation. Two million people have left Ukraine since the start of the war, UN. Pilots ejected after aircraft shot down in Bilozerka, Kherson region. Evacuation from Sumy. Russian troops shelled villages and evacuation bus in Kyiv region. 3 wounded. British Defence Minister, we will support Poland's option if it decides to provide Ukraine with fighters. Chuhuiv, unexploded Smerch rocket Kharkiv Oblast. In Sumy, a shell hit a residential building on Remenska Street. The impact destroyed and damaged homes. There are dead and injured. Among the victims are children. At night, the Russian army launched air strikes on the Sumy region. In Sumy, several houses were destroyed, some were killed, including children, the head of the regional state administration Dmytro Shavitsky reported. Twitter is currently experiencing outages in multiple countries, incident not related to country-level internet disruptions or filtering. President Zelensky decided to recall Ukrainian peacekeepers from all missions in the world. Together with the equipment. This event is known propaganda, displayed for awareness. Putin says will not send conscripts or reservists to Ukraine. Recent footage from the eyes of the Bayraktar TB2 drone in the hands of the Ukrainian military. A9 Kelvin's 317 Buk M2 Telar, part of the infamous convoy, completely destroyed. As the Russians continue to get frustrated and slow down, they continue to rely more now on what we would call long-range fires per at Pentagon Press Sec. That use of long-range strikes versus Ukraine cities is causing more casualties to civilians, he adds. Aid to help Ukraine forces continues to flow into Ukraine, says at Pentagon Press Sec without providing details. 27 civilians killed in Kharkiv in last 24 hours, head of police. 170, including 5 children killed in the city since the start of Russian invasion. All business activity in Russia, including shipments and cafe operations, to be halted, announces at Starbucks. Kharkiv 2204. Red alert, aerial threat. Sirens sounding. Take cover now. Captured by Ukrainian forces. Likely from the Mykolaiv.
І так, 7 березня. Подарунок жінкам України. Сьогоднішні трофеї. 59-та бригада. Даже пайки не встигли з'їсти.
The Green Corridor in Mariupol is regularly shelled, which prevents residents from leaving the city and forces them to remain in basements. There are many looters on the streets. The military distributes water and recharges phones. U.S. Under-Secretary of State Nuland says Poland's decision to put all its MiG-29 jets at U.S. disposal was not pre-consulted with the United States. Coca Cola said on Tuesday it is suspending its business in Russia, following Moscow's invasion of Ukraine. 2255. Red alert, aerial threat. Sirens sounding. Take cover now. PepsiCo Inc. announces the suspension of the sale of Pepsi Cola and global beverage brands in Russia, including 7-Up and Mirinda Reuters. Big fires in Balaklia following heavy Russian strikes. 7 houses were destroyed in Malin, Zhytomyr region as result of Russian army airstrike. 5 civilians dead, including 2 infants. Rescue operation ongoing.